Senator, you gave a speech on Venezuela, open television, public television. Why was that important for you to do, and what is your message to Venezuela?
Well, I thought it was important for the people of Venezuela to hear directly from an American policymaker. I spoke to them first, not as a U.S. Senator, but as someone who was born and raised in a community that's been deeply shaped by the tragedies of the Western Hemisphere. Castroism in Cuba, the Sandinistas in Nicaragua, and now Maduro in Venezuela. And so I wanted them to know that first and foremost we were shaped by that, but I also wanted them to understand why the President and the United States is doing what it's doing. I wanted them to know that despite all the divisions we have in this country on a number of issues, we are united, left and right, Republican and Democrat, on the idea that we support democracy and human rights in Venezuela. Number two, that we're with the people of Venezuela. The overwhelming majority of the people in Venezuela just want an election. That's all they're asking for. An election. And if the leaders of Venezuela are so confident that they are on the right track for the country, why don't they submit themselves the way their Constitution calls for to an election?
Why should Americans care about what's happening in Venezuela?
Well, first of all, because it's our values and our principles. Second, because it's engendered incredible regional unity. You think about what the president's been able to do. The president's united Chile, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica. All these countries are united behind what the president is doing on Venezuela. So that's enormous. But the second is, imagine a Venezuela that holds on to power with Maduro. They will then begin to spread and sponsor what they're doing there into Colombia, into Mexico, into Honduras. They already have it in Nicaragua, into all sorts of other places. And before you know it, we have these anti-American, left-of-center narco states creating migratory pressure on the U.S., serving as a base of operation for Russia and China against our interests. And by the way, also narco-trafficking and drug pressure on America.
Secretary Mnuchin announcing these sanctions earlier this week, freezing all assets for dictator Maduro. Do you think that's enough? Have you spoken with the White House about the potential for new sanctions?
Oh, absolutely. I saw the president yesterday. I talked to the vice president yesterday. We've been in constant contact with them. I think you can expect that every time Maduro does something outrageous, the White House will respond with additional sanctions. For every action, there will be a strong reaction, and the great news is other countries are going to join us. When the president sanctioned those 13 people last week, multiple countries in the hemisphere, including Panama, which has all those banks, announced they too would be sanctioning the same people.
Is oil sanctions on the table?
They are, and I wouldn't, again, it's part of I'm not going to give away the president's hand. That's for them to make an announcement. But most certainly, I think everything is on the table, but they're doing it very incrementally, very strategically, very targeted, and very smart. And what everybody has to understand is the people of Venezuela do not today benefit from Venezuela's oil.
Final question, just about health care. There's a lot of talk that it's not over. Do you think that anything can get done before the August recess?
Well, I hope so. I mean, that's probably overly optimistic, but certainly in September, we hopefully will take one more shot at it, in my opinion. I was elected on the promise of repealing and replacing Obamacare. I was reelected on the same promise. It's a promise. I'm going to do everything I personally can. I'm one vote, but I'm going to do everything I personally can to keep that promise.